Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, Art.
I can hear you.
Okay, just wasn't sure. I'll be on for a half hour, and at 12, I have a meeting I gotta go to. You guys ought to be proud of your Kansas City Chiefs at 2-0.
That was a tough game last night. Two tough teams battling it out to the end.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Yeah. So how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Art. We're doing a hybrid today. I could not be over at the library in person.
I see.
As I'm sure, the same is true for all of us on here. But yeah, I haven't heard back from Leslie how they're going to link us in, because I know there's a lot of people in person. So I'm just waiting to hear back as well to see what the dynamic is going to be here.
I wanted to make sure, especially you, Tom, to know, and maybe you can think of some people that I can talk to. I've recently, like in the last month, been appointed by our governor to take over the prison manufacturing for all of New York. I'm in charge of our manufacturing program.
Okay.
For 44 prisons where we make things, anything from light plates to we started making sanitizer, we make furniture and cubicle equipment, you name it. If you go into our brand, it's called CoreCraft, C-O-R, which stands for basically the first 3 letters of corrections.
Yeah.
It's core, and then craft, all one word, C-O-R-C-R-A.
Right.
That's the division that I'm the director of CoreCraft. So recently appointed, and a lot of the things that we are doing, trying to train, incarcerated individuals with new job skills. My goal is to get us up, at a higher level with regard to digital skills and training. So that's going to be the thing that I'm going to focus most on. Anyway,
awesome.
Let some of you guys know. I haven't upgraded my social media, my LinkedIn, none of that updated yet, but I'll eventually get around to doing that.
I'm going to pass along a reference to you. Our executive director from our Cleveland office, who is now our chief innovation officer, a guy named Brian Mock. He spent his career.
Brian Mock, M-O-S-S?
Mock, M-A-U-K.
Okay.
And he spent his career prior to joining PCs for People doing just that. He worked on kind of startup businesses with incarcerated individuals in the Ohio area. And they did projects building all kinds of things. So it could be a good reference for you.
Oh, absolutely. Our governor, Governor Hochul, wants to do exactly what you're talking about and what that he's done. So I'll
get you in touch with Brian.
Yeah, just send me. You and I have phone numbers and emails and so forth. So
yeah.
The dormitory authority email won't work anymore because I'm not there. But my personal email, which is TELP money, TELP money, NY at yahoo.com. Again, TELP MONEY NY for New York. TELP MONEY NY at yahoo.com. That'll get you to me.
All right, good stuff. I just got that, and I just put in a direct message to Brian Mock's email address.
Okay. Yeah, I will follow up with him over the weekend and certainly.
Yeah, just let him know what you're doing and just see if he's got some insights to share. So.
Absolutely. That's how things work. You get somebody that has some insight and they get you somebody else that's got more insight.
Oh yeah, you got it.
That networking is so important. So thank you very much. take up any time.
No problem. All right, I'm waiting to hear back from Leslie. I think she's working on getting us tied in here. Hold on a second.
The other thing I want to do is start a recycling program. We don't have much of a recycling program, particularly for computer equipment. I mean, we have recycling as in recycling, you know, aluminums and glass and all that, but I want us to get to where we're recycling and refurbishing computers and setting up social service organizations to computers.
Yeah, that's good. Well, start with Brian, and there's some good stuff you can get from working. Okay. All right. Looks like we're getting brought in now to the bigger meeting.
That's so great.
Okay, so can I?
Yes,
This is fun to get together in person here again. Yeah. Did she help you out with that question you had about PC? Good. That's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's only 2 degrees of separation. There's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, there's just 2 degrees of Kansas City.
I mean, I think that's key. Oh, yeah. So digital. Yeah. That's a good of the day right there. So if you're not online, for my level, but they started the process before the before, yeah, they do, but it's they still have the ability to build so if someone wanted to come in, they would really and be a part of that and give the switch is game, the switch is remote. I'm working with Jonathan right now. So they are to fire we just did not buy. I'm consulting for them as a part of the bigger. I'm a sub to our reservoir.
I think so. We did.
We're getting close.
I sent Tom texted me into the chat message.
So we have this cool technology.
I know. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. And I'll be up there, right?
Yeah. And you also just separately advanced the slides and everything with that.
And you saw my PowerPoint that I sent you, basically.
Was it just the recording? Yeah. Okay. Was it just the flyer or I just saw a flyer? Let me check.
Okay, so people on the far side, can you hear us? Far side. Yes, was that yes?
Yes, we can hear you.
I didn't see a PowerPoint.
Meeting April 1st.
Yes, we can hear everybody. Thanks.
Can somebody speak on the meeting now, please? Just talk in your microphone.
Yeah, hi, this is Tom. Can you guys hear me? There's about 10 of us on the Zoom call. Hello? We are here. We are here.
I hear you.
Tom, I don't hear you at all. I don't
You
know. Did you mute? Is this meeting muted automatically?
No.
If anybody's speaking, can somebody speak? Laura or
I'm
Amy?
speaking.
Hello.
We can hear each other.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys can't hear us.
Right.
We could just talk about the baby. Until they can hear us. How cute.
Yeah, he's sick, which is why we're not in person today. Or at least me.
How old is your baby?
Turned 1 yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank
Wow. Got through the first year. That's no small thing.
You gotta quit grabbing the screen there, baby.
Okay, Tom, can you try and speak again?
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
Now you can hear us?
I can hear you guys, yep.
Good stuff. You bet.
So, as you can see, all of your things are there at the bottom when you need to switch through.
Well, then put it in, presentation. You probably want to start from that one.
And we're done.
Yep, but I have to turn it up, and that's working, and
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. No. It was interesting. It was like very nice, but also just like. Yeah, so there's all of them.
You ready to go?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think we got it.
All right, well, welcome to the September coalition meeting for digital inclusion. I'm Leslie Scott, and I work at KC Digital Drive. I'm here during this meeting a lot, so apologies in advance for that. But we always start our meeting with our mission and our vision. So our vision is every citizen and household in the Kansas City metropolitan area has access to the internet, the equipment needed to use it, and the skills needed to take advantage. And our mission is to facilitate collaboration among organizations and initiatives working to bridge the digital divide in order to maximize the resources for greatest impact. So the steering council, I think we have Tom virtually, Zina virtual. I know Carrie and Aaron are both away today and aren't able to make the meeting. But this is our steering council who really guides the work of the coalition. Excuse me. So if you aren't a member, we encourage you to do so. It's really easy. There's a form at digitalinclusionkc.org/join, and it's free. So you'll get emails, invitations to member-only events that we may have in the future, and other things. Now that we're going back to in person, so welcome everyone who's in the room and online as well. There's a way to stay connected with us on all our socials. There's the email address as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Wendy, are we recording? Did we push record yet?
Yes, we are recording automatically.
Oh, great, okay. So also, if you miss a meeting, you can check it out on the YouTube. So today we have a really packed agenda, and we're excited about that. We're going to have a member update from Colleen Jones with Scholar Smarts, and then we're going to have a panel discussion, and then we'll have our usual community announcements. And the order is going to be switched up just a little bit because I think that doing the ACP data update prior to the panel discussion will just provide a bit of context for that discussion. So we'll do that first. And with that, I'd like to invite Pauline up to present.
Stand there.
Yeah, it's here. Did you have a website that you need to access? Or here, I'll help you out with.
It should be open there at the bottom. Chrome. Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Pauline Eatman Johnson. And I'm so excited to be here and to tell you a little bit about Scholar Smarts. But again, thanks one more time for letting me know about the organization, the opportunity to come in and work. I'm ready to do that. No hesitation. So just real briefly, I know I have just a few minutes here. I wanted to let you know that I have more or less relaunched my business. It's called Scholar Smarts. And I say relaunch because of, the times that we're in now. My background not only has included corporate, but also education. So real briefly, I wanted to bring up the website and let you know that my focus is to work with families and those in our community, particularly our urban core, in improving their lifestyles. And these are some of the things, I'm trying to scroll my website up, and these are some of the programs that once you see the website that I have focused on. And we present, and I say we because it's not just me, but we do present workshops, we present one-on-ones, small group presentations, and a variety of different topics. And again, just about everything here that you see listed does impact our families. And it's an opportunity where you pretty much get a buffet of different things to help. So what we do is we let everyone know that we're there to help you in these different areas. And what it is a opportunity where if we need to go in, we will speak with you and consult and come up with a program to enhance what needs to be done. So specifically, for example, this past summer, we were able to work with KU in their federal TRIO program, which is called Europe. And so in that situation, they were seeking assistance in getting their high school kids over in Wyandotte County ready for internships. So again, how does that impact our communities? Well, we're getting our young people ready for post-secondary, and they need to have those tools and skill sets to be competitive. So what I did was met with the team and came up with a proposal and listed out interactive activities that were relevant and had rigor. And we pre-tested, we post-tested, and we did just about everything to make sure that those young people were ready for their 8-week summer internship programs. as far as me, there's a little bit of information. I just kind of have this weird background. I think the fact that it's hard to say, okay, well, what are you doing? Well, now, today, September, I'm semi-retired. I'm still an educator, but I'm coming from a different platform. I'm no longer in the classroom. But I am really excited about being able to make my own schedule, so to speak. I have wonderful people that I'm working with, and here they are right here, and all of them have background in either education or IT, and that's of course my daughter, I have to brag on her. And, you know, we're looking to recognize where those gaps are and to come in and offer our services. So pretty much. And then I also want to point out the fact that I am not an expert at everything. I like to partner. And one of the things that I'm working on now is working with this organization when we get a chance, called Common Sense Media. So we're dialoguing and having some conversation on how we can help not only bridge the digital divide, but also, well, what happens after they cross the bridge? What happens after they cross the bridge? Well, right now, we're seeing it, and actually it's the elephant in the room. And that's the fact that not all interaction on the internet is going positively. I know in the past, I was a volunteer with our group was called Connecting for Good. Now it's called PCs for People. Lovely group. Hello, Tom. You're out there. So you want myself on. And so that was a great opportunity. It was an eye-opener for me to see, well, what happened? So now we get people excited. They've got all the software or, you know, the devices that are needed in the home, and it starts off great. Everything's great. But now here it is, and we're finding out that things can go haywire. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing that organizations like Common Sense Media are telling the players, look, we've got issues. And these are some things that we can do. We need to address the mental health issues that are elevated. We're having some adverse behaviors, and I don't need to tell you, you see it in the news, that a lot of times now, you know, it's stemming from what's going on in that virtual world. And so I have started a campaign with my team, and you'll hear more about that. But I just want to let you know that, yes, let's find out what we can do. Not only are we trying to bridge the digital divide, but what can we do when they get over the bridge? I know we're telling them how to turn the computer on, but then we're not telling them, well, if something happens in terms of the statistics that are now showing that your preteens are averaging more than 9 hours each day, extended time on the screen. And it's not just doing homework. So how do we handle that? So more to come. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to come and talk to you about my wonderful small business. And I've got some business cards, or you can simply reach out and contact me there. There's my email, and there's a message line. And if there's anything else or what have you, that is my presentation.
All right, and Pauline, I am so sorry. I've known you for years. I don't know how to get your name wrong. I'm so sorry.
I've been called worse.
It's the minimum we can do is get somebody's name right. So now we're going to bring up both virtually and in person our featured conversation today. We have a panel discussion with some of our ISPs. And so we will be getting a few folks up on the screen, and then if we can welcome Madeline and Rachel. For all y'all who aren't in person, you're missing out on some yummy food. I thought it was gonna be like pastries and juice, but very delicious. Thank you to the library for the food today.
I'm going to stand.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Whatever's comfortable. These chairs are always a little hard, especially when you're vertically challenged. You know what I mean?
When you have a bit of a need.
I can't do that real. You want people up on the screen now?
Yeah.
I didn't have that technology set up.
What if we just log into Zoom up there? Would that work or mess things up?
We can try, sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you know how to do that. I'll have to Zoom.
Sorry, this hybrid thing, it
Yeah.
sounds so easy and it really isn't.
It's not
It
easy.
really isn't.
We're essentially running 2 meetings simultaneously.
Yeah.
Just imagine teachers who had to do this. Oh my gosh, on the fly too.
All yours.
Okay. Let's try this out.
Exactly. Right, it's no big deal. We're just a family. We've been meeting together for months now.
Right. Right, Ron. You're so right.
Did you need to have an eye in digital inclusion? Yeah.
Takes a village.
There it is. Oh my gosh. Keyboard is tiny and weird.
Oh, and all eyes are on you.
I know. It's like trying to parallel park when somebody's in the car with
So
you.
Wendy,
Avert your eyes.
back up. Look. You got a W now. You got a W.
Okay. Stop looking at me. Are we good?
And there's a B in library. There you go.
Okay,
We're there.
I don't know how to see yours. Let's see.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, now who are we looking for? Now we'll pin them.
We're looking for Jared and
Jared?
Yes, I'm here.
We've got you, okay, and then.
And Eric.
Sorry, it's really hard to hear, I think, for those of us who's joining on the Zoom conference.
Yeah, well,
Just close that.
Stop sharing. Here, and then that should allow us to see everybody. Remove pin or no. And who else?
Eric.
Eric, hello, Eric. And Rob, hi.
Morning.
Yay, we did it.
We did it. Good. How's the audio now? Is that better?
A little better. It's certainly better than it was when lots of people were talking. Thank you.
Okay. Is that any better? Okay.
So I'll just have to really concentrate.
Okay. How about everyone else? Can you hear? Okay, Rob and Eric?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Amy says thumbs up. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. I don't know if you all want to go through and do a quick round of intros. Madeline will start in the room and go to Rachel, and then we'll go to our virtual guests.
All right. Thank you so much, Leslie. So everyone, I'm Madeline Erroneous, and This feels loud, but I guess it's probably great for people online. So I'm Madeline Ronius, and no stranger here. I handle governmental and external affairs for AT&T, and I'm extremely, thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely, Rachel.
Good morning, Rachel Marlowe, Government Community Affairs for Google Fiber, and thanks for having me.
And just a heads up to everyone, Rachel might have to pop out here.
In like 15 minutes.
Yeah, shortly, so sorry about that. And so, Rob, you wanna go first online?
Yeah, morning. Rob Quester, Senior Vice President of Consumer Products for Consolidated Communications.
Eric?
Eric Gross, Director for Sales and Marketing with Comcast Xfinity.
And Jared?
Yeah, my name's Jared Falk. I'm a Senior Director of Government Affairs with Charter Communications, who you probably know as Spectrum in the Marketplace. And I have 6 states: Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana.
Great. All right, so we're gonna get started and just dive into the questions, and then, you know, Rachel, just pop out as you need to, okay? Everybody knows that you have to head out, so I apologize for starting so late. First of all, so Rachel, we'll go first with you. Why did your company decide to participate in the ACP? I know Google Fiber was a little bit later entering into the program, so why did you decide to do that?
We had decided, actually when it was announced, this is probably going to be a good opportunity for us to go ahead and engage. But this represents the first time that Google Fiber has participated in any sort of a government-run benefit program. So for us, we had to stand up the system brand new. This was new to our business. Previously, we've had other products that were aimed at narrowing the digital divide. Some had, great benefits to them, and then there were certainly lots of learnings along the way. But we really like how ACP has unfolded, and it did take us time to go ahead and get the processes in place operationally, so that we're able to participate, and that's where we are today.
Alan?
Thank you. So, I mean, it was just a perfect fit, as it is for all of us. But with AT&T, we have a program. We had it prior to ACP called Access, and it was our low-cost offering for folks who qualify, homes who qualify. And this was just a perfect supplement to that. So again, like you mentioned, Rachel, yes, we did have to stand up groups and whatnot to try to make it happen. And it is a feat, right? But it was just a perfect fit for what is already our mission at AT&T, and that is trying to reduce the digital divide and giving everyone, as many people as possible, access to high-speed internet. I would call out one of the benefits, I think, to providers is that it takes us out of the role of having to do the verification process. So that part is attractive.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I think a lot of the same reasons, and it's the right thing to do. So we were fairly early adopters of ABB, which was the predecessor program of ACP. And I echo everyone else's comments so far that stand-up was a bit of a challenge. It was a unique program in some ways. There were some curveballs in regards to implementation. But it's been a great tool for working with school districts directly, which has been one of our primary marketing activities. Is working directly and getting as close to the end user as possible. We found that school districts have been just welcoming us with open arms in adoption and awareness, and it's been a great program so far.
Jared?
Sure. At Charter, I think we look at this as kind of a 3-legged stool to address connectivity issues. And, it's access, it's adoption, it's affordability. We're trying to tackle each one of these. In the last 4 years alone, Charter Communications, we've expanded our network by an additional 4 million new homes and businesses, with roughly 1 million of these in rural areas to tackle adoption. Like just in Missouri, we've partnered with nonprofits like the Oasis Institute, the Urban League of Greater Kansas City, Goodwill, Launch Code Foundation, St. Louis ARC, and AARP to help bridge the digital divide and improve adoption. And then I think the third leg of this stool is affordability. That's why we were excited to participate in ACP. So it's the right thing to do to get people connected. That's why we determined to participate.
Eric?
If I can get off mute, my apologies. So hello, everyone. So no, I think I would, kind of piggyback and echo what people have said. As Comcast, we've spent, the last decade working to address, digital inequities. So when we think about ACP, connecting people was a big portion of it for us as a business, as a company, because it's something that we've saw great value in. We know that we need to provide services for those people that have lower incomes. And with the ACP and RIE product that we've had, and we celebrated 10 years with, at $9.95, we've already had a product. So this just enhances that and allows us to continue to serve those that haven't been served or need to be served.
All right, we have about 5 minutes before we lose Rachel, so I'm going to give her a couple questions. Do you know how many of your customers are signed up on ACP?
Yes, but we don't share customer numbers externally. I can tell you though that we have seen a steady increase month over month that people are driving toward that direction.
And just for time's sake, so we can squeeze in another question with Rachel, are any of you aware of what your numbers are? Anybody know your numbers?
Leslie at AT&T, I mean, we just don't track our numbers at like a KC Metro level. So again, we too are aggressively working to sign up families, but we can't provide numbers at this level.
Okay, so that rolls right into the next question. So I'm going to give it to Rachel, and then Madeline, you can chime in too. How are you getting the word out about ACP to your customers or to the community at large?
We just went live with ACP roughly a month-ish ago, so it's been very organic at this point because we're still making sure operationally that the sign-up flow is working correctly. Again, this is a first-time participation for Google Fiber to participate in this type of a program. But what you can expect is that there is more to come, surely, and particularly on the product side for us, we are working on some enhancements there that will make the service even more accessible for the families who need it most.
Okay. And so I'm going to squeeze in a question and we'll go back to everybody else. So does that mean maybe you'll have a plan that people can completely pay for with the ACP?
We will have a plan that is more attractive than perhaps the $70 product is today, and still offering speeds that are going to hopefully meet everyone's needs for the way that we use the web today.
Okay. All right, Madeline, how are you all getting the word out about ACP?
Sure. So AT&T was one of the sort of original partners with ACP and its predecessor program. We've been working our relationships in the community across the country. We have community partners, pretty much non-for-profits, many of which were mentioned earlier by Jared that we work with. I'll also add that to Rob's comment about schools, one of the partners that we found most valuable is libraries. AT&T announced earlier this year a $2 billion collaboration with the National Public Library Association. So we have our Library Association collaboration, and we also have our connected learning centers that we're standing up across the country in areas like Kansas City where we don't have one yet. What we're doing is we're trying to have digital literacy workshops in partnership with other sort of like-minded not-for-profits in this space. And that's just one of the many ways that we're trying to talk ACP, and we're also talking about our products. So
I would amplify that is that that's part of why this coalition is so important, is because we do our work through the partner organizations here. One thing that is happening though, NDIA I think sent out the government presentation recently on funding that's about to come out where really to drive adoption. So you could be a nonprofit organization, a government entity, et cetera, who could qualify. I think that the formal announcement should come this fall with details about who's eligible and what you can use the dollars for. One of the things that caught my eye though in that slide deck that they issued that sort of had the early level details available, they're driving for neutrality. So where we're supporting programs to help get folks signed up for ACP, not necessarily for Google Fiber or any other provider's chosen product. One of the details on there said that if you're going to receive funding through this pool, you may not accept funding from an ISP to support those same adoption initiatives, which is going to make things a little bit murky. So if we're gonna support an organization here, it's gonna have to be very clearly marked, like this is the stuff that Google Fiber, AT&T, anybody else supported. All of the things that are supported through that grant are gonna have to be done independently in some way. So I think that was an area that where we submitted some feedback and said this needs to be probably rethought. in some
I
fashion.
highlighted that particular requirement as well internally. So we'll move to the folks online, but I know we're gonna lose Rachel here in a sec, and I just wanted to ask quickly, are any sort of regular marketing dollars going to promote the ACP?
To date, not yet, but it's about to. Like I said, in the last month that we've been working on this, it's really been through partner organizations word of mouth. But yes, the marketing muscle will go toward this as well.
Okay. AT&T?
Definitely. As I mentioned, we've stood up call centers just to receive ACP families who who have qualified. We have our portal, we have our website. I'm definitely marketing this product.
All right, so Rachel, it's 11:15.
I'm gonna be a little bit late.
Okay, all right, cool. I just want to be respectful.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob, you want to weigh in on how you're promoting the ACP to your customers in the community at large?
Yeah, we'd be happy to do that. So we spend traditional marketing dollars as well as sales resources. So when we talk to communities, and we spend a lot of time talking to communities and school districts about broadband, digital literacy, expansion of broadband. When you look at our footprint, we may be a little bit different than some of the other panelists in that Kansas City is the only NFL city that we operate in. We're primarily a rural telco with a lot of fiber in our network, just like we have in Kansas City. So that affords us, the smaller communities, to have those one-on-one conversations with the libraries, with the school superintendents, with the city fathers, and get almost direct access to our end users. So when we come in, our community development specialists come into a community, ACP is always on the radar because we want to get the word out as much as we possibly can. We also do traditional digital media, print media. So we see ACP as just another service offering that has a little bit of a restriction or a requirement around qualifying for it, but we market it like we market any other broadband product.
Jared?
Sure. Charter is now actively promoting the ACP to reach both unconnected families as well as existing subscribers, so they know that help is available for qualifying families who may be experiencing financial stress. So these efforts include like our direct marketing, outreach on our Spectrum stores, national and local news announcements, and we also use our social media channels. So we want to continue to promote ACP prominently on our website at spectrum.com. We also highlight that it's convenient to sign up options for both prospective and current customers. That's how we're promoting it.
I have a follow-up specifically for you, Jared. Can you clarify whether the plans that you have promoting ACP are accessible to both current and new customers at the price point that would be covered completely by the ACP?
Can you repeat the question? It's kind of hard to hear. I apologize.
Sure. So on the website, it appeared as if the price point that would be able to be covered by the ACP completely is only available to new customers. I just wanted to see if you could clarify that for me.
We've got a couple different things that we do, and I'm not sure I can answer the question 100%, but all of our prices are consistent across the country. We have a national pricing and packaging. So we also offer we call it Spectrum 100, and it is available for ACP customers for I think for a 2-year period, and it's priced at $30. So essentially, with the credit you get from the ACP program, these customers who may or may not be able to be new, I couldn't tell you that, I apologize, can get the service, which is a 100 meg download service for free.
Okay, great. Eric?
Yes, So I feel like there are two questions there. You want me to answer that second question?
No, the question is, how are you promoting the ACP to your customers and also the community at large?
Okay, so yeah, so we have, through community partnerships, schools, we work with elected officials. Our stores, we do digital ads. Social media is how we continue to get that ACP out there. Specifically, as I said earlier, we have our Internet Essentials program, which we consider IE for $9.95. And then we have our Internet Essentials Plus for $29.95, which is 100 and over 10. So the IE Internet Essentials regular is 50 over 5, which is $9.95. And for the $30 ACP, we allow that specific customer to use it on any tier of our service products that we have and we offer. So they can come in and say, hey, we want to use it on mobile. You get our mobile service. You want to use it towards that. You can use it towards that, to have internet, towards all of that, so that we can make sure that the customer is taken care of from top to bottom.
I think we've covered the next question with a couple of answers wrapped in, but maybe Madeline, can you talk about if you have plans that are completely covered by the ACP and what the speed is for those?
Thank you, Leslie. So at AT&T, we have the AT&T Access Plan. It's 100 down, 100 up. It's currently $30. If a family can qualify for ACP and get that $30 discount, essentially it's free, 100 up, 100 down to the home.
Okay, and then Rob, do you have any plans that are covered completely by the $30 discount?
We do not today, and there's a reason for that, but we are pursuing it. So we offer the $30 ACP discount, and we also have a number of our subscribers that qualify for traditional Lifeline broadband discount. So our 250 meg package over fiber, as an example, generally comes in around $3 to $5, somewhere right there in that neighborhood. We are working on 100 by 100 free. It's going to take a little bit of time. One of the quirks of the ACP program is that if you offer a totally free service, you have to monitor end user connections to make sure that they're actually utilizing the service. And again, our service territory is probably a little bit different than some of the other panelists. We operate in a lot of different markets with different technologies. So we've got to do kind of the IT work to pull all that together to be able to monitor those free connections to prove utilization. And we felt that it wasn't worth waiting to get the program out. So a 250 meg symmetrical fiber service with all applicable discounts is about $5, but we are working on 100 by 100 with that monitoring capability.
I do have to excuse myself, but I had a chance to look at the questions before we joined today. And I would just say that no, we do not participate in the device program at Google Fiber. If you go to the FCC's website, you'll be able to see any provider who does participate in it, but I think all of us at this point are not actively participating in that. We do, however, support organizations like PCs for People and others to help make devices available to folks who need them. Secondly, we don't at this time have any plans to accept the funding that was like the big dollars or IEP. So that's not something, but we would appreciate as the states start working on their own rules and guidelines, if they try to make them align with the existing ECP guidelines, that would certainly simplify the process for ISPs. The third thing, anything that we would change, secure the funding so that ACP can be a long-term program and not something that we're looking over our shoulders, wondering if it's going to disappear. Secondly, there's some things that need to be ironed out when it comes to bulk billing in multifamily communities. So that's a little bit of a pain point at this moment when it comes to ACP. Is that all the other?
That's it. Thank you so much. Okay, and all those answers in. Now everybody has a preview of the rest of the questions. Okay, we are going to have time for.
Excuse me. I'm trying to get in. I don't know how to raise my hand.
Yeah, so Margo, we have time in a little bit for community questions.
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to say that I got my laptop when COVID hit and the library started, every other computer was shut down and I was getting really nervous. I got the letter that you could get the laptop and the discounted Wi-Fi, and it's been absolutely life-giving to people that have been helping us with the Quindale Underground Railroad site, and Veterans Outreach, Health and Human Services. Like on the 28th, we're getting people, we have 50 people coming from Ghana for a ancient ceremony to seek
So I wonder
forgiveness.
if I could just interrupt you for a second, so we can finish our questions, our planned questions, and then I want to make sure we leave time for you to invite everybody to that event, because it's fantastic. I actually interviewed Jacob Wagner and Anita.
My apologies.
Yeah, so let's get through these real quick, and then I know that you know, your on the ground experience is really valuable, and we definitely want to hear your insight into that. So let's just roll through these really quickly, and then I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for you, Marvin, and anybody else who has questions or comments. So Eric, I know you mentioned your low cost program, but I'm not sure if we heard the exact cost and the speed on those.
Yes, so we have Internet Essentials, which is $9.95, which is 50 over 5. And then we have Internet Essentials Plus, which is 100 over 10, which is $29.95. So with the ACP of 30, both of those are technically free. And then you could add on after that.
Okay, great, thank you. And so Rachel kind of gave us a preview. We know that none of you are currently offering the $100 device subsidy. We're just curious if anybody knows if their company has plans to do that. Just for clarification, the rules are that where you get your device subsidy is where you have to get it from the same company you're getting your internet service, which is a rule that a lot of us don't understand. So anybody have any plans to change that and start offering that internet or that device subsidy in addition to the participating in the internet side?
No plans at this time, Leslie, but we never say never.
Anybody online have plans for it?
I can tell you we do not do that at this time from Charter's perspective. I don't know if we plan to do in the future. That's way over my pay grade. My apologies.
Yeah, Eric?
I would say the same. I don't want to speak to the answer saying yes or no, what we will do it, but I know not at this time, so.
Okay, all right. So we have all this money, and Rachel mentioned BEAD and the other infrastructure money that's coming. Madeline, how do you think that's going to affect your offerings? Do you think that it's going to change anything operationally for AT&T?
We don't expect that to change anything for AT&T. You know, what's exciting about BEAD and ARPA and all of these funds that are going to be out there trying to drive connectivity and getting low-income families on board in areas that are going to serve them more is it's basically going to create a bigger ecosystem, right? Of people who will be able to possibly qualify for ACP. So, but we don't expect to change in any offering our access at AT&T. We do not expect to change in that, to impact that, nor to our knowledge, our operations with regard to ACP, we don't expect to change.
Okay. Rob?
Yeah, I would echo that. I do think that it gives more available opportunity for folks. You know, as we look at some of the bills that we've been doing with other grant funding up to this point, a lot of what we're doing is rural, you know, very rural. And I think in many cases, there's a slightly higher propensity for folks that would qualify for ACP. So, you know, I see that as kind of the evolution of digital literacy and inclusion. Providing the access is all good and well, but if people can't afford it, they're not going to get the service. So now ACP gives them a mechanism to get the service, and then the next step of that is literacy. So I think it's a really important step, and it just is going to widen the funnel for availability.
Great, Jared.
Sure. I hope the BEAD funding can be used to maybe expand some of the different programs. For instance, we think the NTIA should consider using BEAD funds to provide support for bulk service arrangements where a third party, such as a school district or landlord, would be able to purchase broadband services on behalf of their constituents. So these bulk arrangements would then permit the third party purchaser to receive the relevant low-cost broadband benefit for their constituents and would encourage these parties to facilitate access to broadband. The FCC itself has recognized the benefit of allowing bulk arrangements and sought comment on expanding the program in public housing. We think they should also consider using BEAD funds to allow states to supplement their own low-income broadband benefit programs, or to supplement Digital Equity Act funding to support programs that encourage adoption. So that's what we would suggest for NTIA on a moving forward basis.
Eric, how about you? How do you think that you all's operations will change at all with the BEAD and other funding that's coming down?
I will have to be honest and say that I'm unfamiliar with the funding that you're referring to.
It's just the infrastructure. It's the acronyms for all the, yeah.
Stimulus
Mhm.
came out of the pandemic.
Yeah, the infrastructure bill that, you know, we're talking about all the time, where we're gonna build roads and bridges and high-speed internet everywhere, hopefully.
So like, is it like rural broadband type of thing or?
It's just wherever it's unserved or underserved, so it could be rural or otherwise. It's okay, we're gonna give you a pass, how about that?
Give me a pass on that one, because I don't want to speak to that when I know. Thank you, sorry.
All right, so we just have one more question, and then I'm gonna go to our community. So Madeline, if you had one suggestion for changing the ACP, you only get one.
I feel like there's B. Yes.
What do you think you would suggest that we could change to make the ACP better?
So I have an easy answer since I only get one, and that is, you know, at AT&T, I mean, we're commending Congress, we're commending the organizations that are behind ACP that got this off. I mean, you remember that the emergency broadband was what, $50, but there was a sunset on it, there was a timeline on it, and now ACP is out there for the foreseeable future. So with that said, we don't have any recommendations of changes or anything we'd like to see different. We'd like it to continue.
Yeah.
But we applaud the policymakers for putting it in place.
So just making sure it's an ongoing plan.
Making sure it's an ongoing plan, yes.
Okay. All right, Rob, you have any changes that you would make?
100% agreement. A long-term funding mechanism. It's a wonderful program. We love it. It's great for everybody. There's nobody loses with ACP, but having a guaranteed funding stream for this long term would be one change I would make.
Jared, you have anything to add?
Yeah, just one thing. So first, just want to commend the FCC staff. We think they did a great job of standing up ACP, especially when they were under the crunch of the passage of the IIJA. But the one thing we would change in particular is we are required to de-enroll customers who do not use their service after only 30 days. We think it'd be helpful for those customers to have additional time to use their service before they are de-enrolled, especially since these may be seniors or other first-time internet adopters who go through all the steps required to sign up for ACP, only to get de-enrolled for not setting up their equipment quickly enough. So that's the one change we would suggest.
How about you, Eric? Do you have anything that you would change?
I can echo, so that's I'm still using my one. I can echo that we want it to be, you know, long-term funded, but then I would just say have it in more languages so more people can apply.
Okay, great. All right, well, I want to make sure that we give time for community questions, about maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so Adrian's going to go around and I'm also realizing that I'm a bad facilitator. Yeah, you'll need to turn it on, I think. And I totally forgot to ask about new faces, so we'll do that at the end.
Leslie, are these questions for us? Can I go?
Yeah, they are.
They're okay, but I can answer to you.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can definitely sit down, Rick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick Usher here. And just to follow up to that last question on what you would change, would you support uncoupling the device subsidy from the provider so that that funding can be used effectively.
Madeline?
Rick, you're way above my pay grade with that question, and I
Would you move it up the chain then? That would be cool.
I will take that question back, but I really, at this point, I can't speak to that question, but it is an excellent one.
Yeah, anybody have any thoughts? The question was around uncoupling the internet service discount from the device subsidy, so that someone could get your internet service from one company and the device from a different one. Anybody have any thoughts about that? No? Okay.
Tom has his hand raised. Tom, did you have a question or? some
Yeah,
input?
I'll just kind of in response to that question, but also with respect to the coupling or decoupling of devices with internet service, I do want to acknowledge that we've been working for a number of years now with Google Fiber's support to offer discounted computers in communities where we've partnered with Google Fiber, and in places where we're also starting to either provide hotspot devices or our own Wi-Fi networks. There is an example we have with Cox, which is not represented here in the Kansas City area, where we've created a unique portal through which Cox customers can acquire devices using their ACP subsidy, and they're provided by PCs for People, but it's a partnership agreement with Cox. With respect to AT&T and all the other partners on this particular initiative, I'm not saying that to be competitive or to be, oh, you should do that with us. I'm just saying there are opportunities that we always want to have with any of the providers in the network. If there's an instance where they have a customer segment that's looking for an easier way to couple the ACP benefit that they get for their internet with the opportunity to get a device. And so I'm just kind of opening ourselves up to say, we're looking for any way that we can help, because at the end of the day, all of our end goal is to make sure that those who have not had access to affordable computers as well as internet, that they just find the easiest way to get it. And so PCs for People just would like to partner in any way that we can. And it's worked both ways. In Google Fiber's case, where it is decoupled, but Google Fiber provides funding that allows us to subsidize computers. And in the case of Cox, we just have a direct partnership where we created their own unique portal for their customers. So there's precedent for doing it both ways. That's all I wanted to input.
And Tom, while you have the floor, you are participating in ACP as a provider, and you have your own portal, right, for people to apply?
Yeah, and the reason I didn't cut in when we were talking about marketing efforts, and because really for us, it started out as a way to transfer over those customers who are on our mobile hotspot program through Mobile Beacon and Mobile Citizen, which has pretty extreme caps on the number and the amount that we can have in any one market. So in areas where we have hotspot customers who can then live in areas where we're starting to build our own LTE, and now we're building 5G fixed wireless networks in specific areas with partners like housing authority communities. It gives us a chance to say, enrolling with PCs for People for either our hotspot program or our programs that we're installing in specific communities, it will allow them to apply that ACP benefit, because our programs cost $15 a month. So the ACP subsidy, fully covers their monthly internet subscription, but it's not something that we're like publicly advertising, because we only make aware those customers who are in the areas where we're installing our networks. So we are a provider, and we will be making ourselves more known as our coverage zones increase. but we don't look to do that in competition with existing providers. We're just trying to do it in as kind of literally a gap filler in areas where the existing providers just, you know, either have not yet reached or, you know, have a customer segment that's otherwise been unable to enroll in some of the other programs.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Really quickly, so we can have time for other questions. Anybody else have their own portal, or are you going through the ACP portal only?
Leslie, we use the USAC portal for qualification, and then we have a specialized group of people that can work with individual customers to make sure that if whatever they qualify for, whether it's an additional Lifeline credit or whatever, we don't just limit to ACP. So we try to route each of those to a human to do a complete analysis.
That's awesome. Thank you for mentioning that. Anybody else? Madeline?
So Charter's got its own website, but then, you know, we direct folks that might be interested to qualify them to the national verifier. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we don't do it ourselves. We go through the federal government where we try and direct folks to that national verifier.
Yeah, Jared, have stood up their own portal. They got it approved through the FCC. So sorry, Madeline, go ahead.
No problem. So at att.com/ACP and also at cricketwireless.com/ACP, you'll find the after families qualify through the national verifier, you'll be able to kind of route that way. Also, we have specific teams of people across the country who take those calls. So they know specifically about ACP and they can work with customers very efficiently.
So you use the national verifier site as well? You don't have your own portal?
Well, I would say we, you know, more than that, we use the national verifier site. I mean,
okay,
of course. But then after they qualify, after families qualify, then they will kind of work through AT&T. And we have stood up our own call centers and folks can handle those calls. So yes.
All right, Eric?
Sorry, yes, we work with the national qualifier as well. And then after that, we have specific folks within our stores or we can have conversations with for those people to help them walk through the rest.
Wendy, do we have, besides Marvin, who I'm going to go to now, do we have any other? Okay, Marvin, you have the floor. Just for questions for the panel for now, and then we'll do announcements at the end, okay? Oh, you have a question? Sorry. Wait, one more in the room.
Hi, my name is Edward Rand. I'm with Poetry for Personal Power. And one of the things that we do is advocate for mental health and entrepreneurship. And I have given away in 2021 26 computers. And this year I've given away, so far, I think I'm at 29 computers. And what we've basically done is work with transitional houses. I'm also a chaplain at Neil Hall. And we just pretty much try to get funding to give away the computers. And the transitional homes that we deal with, some of them don't have computers or the internet. Is there a way that you guys can help?
Madeline? I'm gonna have Madeline go first, and then I'll go to the folks online.
Well, and nothing's, Edward, my apologies, Edward. So Edward, great question and great thing you're doing. The AT&T Foundation is the channel through which we work with not-for-profits like yours, big and small, across the country, who, and our focus now, which kind of great tie-in here, is reducing the digital divide and the homework gap. So those are our two areas of focus with our AT&T Foundation, and that's the vehicle by which we try to support organizations like yours who are doing great in the community in that space.
Okay, Rob, you or Jared or Eric, anybody have any suggestions on how to help Poetry for Personal Power?
I would definitely, I'm not there in person, but it's definitely something that, you know, we as a company want to obviously look into. So if you could, if I could share my information with you and we can have a conversation offline on how we as a company here locally can support and or see what it is that we can level set on, that would be something I'll be open to.
Great. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Jared. We've got a couple different programs. One's called Spectrum Community Assist, another Spectrum Digital Education, where we provide this type of funding through a competitive grant process. So please reach out to me if you'd like for me to share more information about those. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, same here. We actually have a grant application process that just opened up a couple of weeks ago. So reach out to me directly and be more than happy to give you more information.
And we'll follow up with that contact information so that everybody can touch base. Okay, sound good? All right, so we only have about 15 minutes left in the meeting. Marvin, did you want to go ahead and ask your question? And then we'll do announcements. I've got to go through the ACP subscription PowerPoint really quickly before we adjourn. So did you have a quick question for the panel?
Well, just that, okay, so my main project is the Quindale Ruins Underground Railroad, but I deal with a lot of other different agencies. And we're being blessed and fortunate. You're talking about portals. The United Nations UNESCO program is going to be here in Kansas City the 27th through the 30th of September. And also 50 people from the UN and 50 people from Ghana. And they're going to be at UMKC in Kansas City. And we would not have the opportunity to greet them if the Lord had blessed whoever came up with the mobile hotspot. And so it's changed a couple of different times, but being a veteran, I deal with a lot of the Veterans Administration, new workshops and all that. If we had not had the ability, because the library shut down, and I just wanted to throw that out there because so often the people at the bottom don't get the opportunity to be heard. And I was bragging with the lady that runs a program in Lawrence. She has an arts textile facility about our meeting today. And I had told her about this a million times. She's like, I need that for my students. She deals with a lot of mentally and physically disabled children with arts and textile. So I told her that I would mention this today, but I wanted to also thank the people that came up with the concept of the mobile hotspot, because we would have been lost out of the mix of just communicating with the people across the country and overseas. So that's what I wanted to say, whatever value that might have. And I couldn't thank each of you enough.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm going to put a quick plug in. Some people may not know, but I've been hosting a radio show for about the last 2.5 years on Kansas City Radio, kcradio.org. And I actually, next week on Thursday at 10 a.m., you can listen to an interview where we're talking about that event. It's an amazing concept, and talking about Kansas City is a UNESCO City of Music, the only one in the United States. Kansas City is. So it's a really inspiring work that you're doing, Marvin. So thank you for speaking up. Are there any other questions? Rick Usher.
Thanks. And this is for all of you, but how are you ensuring that you have the infrastructure in place to meet President Biden's challenge to provide symmetric 100 megabit speeds for $30 a month? We know that not all of you have fiber, and some of you are still using DSL, ADSL, running through some of KC's low-income internet adoption. Kansas City's neighborhoods of low internet adoption and high poverty, and therefore you wouldn't be able to provide that speed today. So we'd be interested in knowing your plans for upgrading that infrastructure.
Melanie, you want to start?
Because I'm in the room, I always get to start, which is fine. Great question. I would not expect a different question from Rick. It's about two things, Rick. It's about capital investment, right? And it's about fiber, as you mentioned. AT&T has made a pledge to pass millions of homes by 2030 with fiber. We're working on that now. We're not everywhere, as you well know. But through our own capital investment in Missouri and in the Kansas City metropolitan area, and hopefully through various programs are out there, which with the Missouri Broadband Grant Program, the Kansas Grant Program, We hope to receive funds to kind of further get fiber out in our footprint. So it's a work in progress. But I would say that we're very proud of our capital investment dollars. We invest more capital in the country than many companies, and we will continue to do so. But it's not an overnight process, Rick, but we will get there.
And I think we went through the low-cost plans to hear about the cost and the.
Yeah, and of course, I'd like to hear from the other providers as well, because
We've heard the 100 megabit download maybe, but not the 100 up.
Sure. Rob?
Yeah, we actually completed some network upgrades last year. And again, we're a little bit different than some of the other providers. We don't serve the entire KC Metro. We have a smaller footprint on the southwest side of the city. But the upgrades we completed last year with capital investment took our network to fully gig across the board. So all of our footprint is gig capable today.
Jared?
Sure, yeah, from all of Charter Communications, 32 million customers across the country, we provide gigabit speeds at this point. We are also able to upgrade our network through some things that I frankly don't understand. I call it equipment upgrades. So we are able to offer symmetrical gig. Anything we do from here on out that's a larger project, we will be doing fiber to the premises. So our networks as they exist today are fully scalable of offering those speeds, and we are putting a lot of fiber in the ground across the country.
Eric, last but not least.
I know we are consistently investing in our network. So that over time we will be able to offer that. But I know we have made a tremendous investment for all of, the rural broadband. So we just announced that we are going to build out Spring Hill, and then that will be as we continue to build symmetrical speeds that you're referring to. But we do offer gig, it's just not gig symmetrical right now to date, but we will continue to invest our network to ensure that we can do that over time.
Okay, great. Well, we do have to move along, I think. Can we thank our panelists? Hot seat. So we appreciate you being here and just being willing to talk with us about ACP and your company trying to get everyone online. So thank you for your time, and feel free to hang out and listen to the announcements. 9 more minutes.
I have to.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so I am going to go ahead, and I was going to do this beforehand, but Rachel had to go and do this really, really quickly. So William Crumbler had me together for an ACP enrollment update. It should be noted that the numbers have not been updated. These are July 1 numbers, so they are as current as we have. So the slides are pretty self-explanatory. So this one is just showing where the ACP eligible households are. So the deeper the yellow, the more we have. And so you can just see where those households are. Not surprising, we know our region. So this is the percent of eligible households that are signed up. So the deeper the red, the higher sign-up rate, the lighter, the fewer. So there is some overlap between where the deeper yellow is as far as the number of folks and the signups. So that's good news, but we still see a lot of the lighter colors. So, that's work we have to do yet. This is the number of ACP eligible households not yet signed up. So the deeper the blue, the more work we have to do. So you can see where those are. And then the deeper the yellow is, the more eligible we have as far as just the number of them. So I think that that's, okay, and then this last one is, you know, the higher the sign up rate, so you can see where we have the higher signups in the city, and where we also have some opportunities to get more folks signed up. Not signed up, you can see where we are there. And then deeper the blue is the greater the number that are not signed up, where, you know, we can really make a difference there. And then this is just a bar chart. The brown one is the 9-county region average, and then you can see the zip codes divided by Kansas and Missouri, and those are LifeX zip codes that are areas where life expectancy is much lower than the average in the metro. So you can see we've done a pretty good job in 64130, 64132, but then you can see on the Kansas side where I live, it's pretty low, but we're still, you know, pretty much above or at or above the 9-county region average. So it's kind of interesting. So that's just a quick update that we wanted to give. And so how do I get out of this?
Hit escape on your on the keyboard.
See the combo. So now we're back, and we just have about 5 minutes. Do you guys want to make an announcement or anything? Okay, I'm going to make a quick announcement when we get it organized. Code for America is doing digital inclusion focused activities in their brigade conference that's happening in St. Louis. So if anybody is interested in going to that and just participating or learning more, you can see me after the meeting. And then can you grab that? Yeah.
Oh, your flyer?
Yeah, and then Marlene Nagel with Mid-America Regional Council wanted me to just announce that they're doing some public engagement events around digital equity. We will send out the flyer for that. It's got the schedule. Those events start Monday and they go through October 6th. So we'll send that schedule out. We've got some printed copies here, so everybody in the room has them, but we'll send it out as well to everyone so that they have that and they can attend if you're interested. And I'm going to turn it over to Wendy Pearson.
So I have a couple of quick announcements, and don't worry about capturing all the details because I'm going to include all of this in the newsletter that's going to come out early next week. That's basically capturing all the details of this meeting and the recording and everything for those folks who couldn't make it. First of all, too, for everyone who's here in person, if you haven't already signed in, please sign in as you leave so that we can make sure you get that follow-up information. So I have two announcements. One, you'll see on the table the flyer that looks like this. We will be hosting first week of October an event to which all community partner organizations are invited. So if you serve community members in any capacity, you're invited to this event where we will show you basically how to navigate all of the resources related to digital inclusion through a couple of important partnerships that we've developed over the past few years. There's something called the Missouri Broadband Resource Rail. It's basically a database for the entire state of Missouri. We've been working with the University of Missouri and Missouri SourceLink to actually add KC regional resources as well, including Kansas side stuff. And so we want to show you how to navigate that database, so that you can help your clients if they face challenges with the digital divide. If they need a computer, if they need internet, we'll show you how to provide those answers and point them in the right direction. Of course, at the library, we welcome your referrals. You can send people to us to help, to get them the help that they need, but this will empower you to provide that help on the spot. So please block your calendars and join us, it'll be great. Secondly, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. The library has an extremely exciting opportunity. We're hiring part-time positions through the AmeriCorps State and National Program. You might be aware of Tech Access. It's the library's initiative where we provide digital literacy services to our patrons in our service area, especially focusing on adults. And we're going to be getting some part-time members on board to help us expand those services and be available for more hours at more locations. We're very excited to be able to expand our great services. And what I'm announcing this for is because we want you to get the word out about this position. You can have a full-time job. This is something you can maybe do on the side. It's only 10 hours a week. And you get paid a little bit. It's an American. 19 hours, excuse me, 19 hours, a little bit more of a commitment. 19 hours a week. So very exciting opportunity. And like I said, we'll post all the details in that follow-up newsletter. Any questions or last comments or announcements? Yeah.
You want to talk about Digital Inclusion Week?
Yes. So Digital Inclusion Week is coming up. And this is basically every year for all of us who are working towards digital inclusion and doing things to bridge the digital divide. You know, it's an opportunity to bring attention to the work that we're doing. It's organized kind of overall nationally by NDIA, the National Digital Inclusion Alliance. And we are invited to think about some maybe special events that we could host, maybe ACP signups, for example. This event, ooh, it happens to be the week before Digital Inclusion Week.
No, it's during.
Oh my gosh, well, look at that. I did not even plan that. That's wonderful. Totally did that on purpose. So, yay. So follow my lead apparently and put some events together to help, you know, bring attention to the issues or serve people directly. You know, it can be anything. If you go to digitalinclusion.org, I believe is their website. You'll find Digital Inclusion Week, and you can actually look at all the other projects people are doing all across the country, maybe get some inspiration, put your team together, and do something special.
Okay, we're a minute over, and so we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sorry I monopolized the meeting. Not planned, it just worked out that way. And so I hope that that doesn't happen again in the future anytime soon. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and we will see you next month. Let's see, our next.
Here, see on the left, there's a little tiny.
Yes, we're just going to do this. Our next meeting is October 7th. And we're going to be hybrid again, Wendy, is that right?
We've learned some things and we'll try to make it a little more smooth. Like,
Yeah, so, but we understand that there are people who can't make it down here, especially people like Artware who come, it would be a heck of a commute to come New York, so.
We were hybrid before hybrid was cool.
Right.
We were hybrid before hybrid was cool, Rebecca says. He's so right. We just have to figure out how to do it again. So thank you, everybody, and have a good weekend.
Good.